Great. Welcome to Office Hours. I'm Linda Hammis, co-founder of Tertulia and your host for Office Hours every Friday. We meet to share knowledge and insights from publishing experts with guest panels, speakers, and demos. Remember that these sessions are open to all writers, not just Tertulia subscribers, so feel free to invite your writing group or bring a friend. Next week, the session will be focused on practical publicity strategies for authors with a veteran publicist. Today, we are bringing back the author panel. This is the real deal. Real authors using Tertulia, sharing concrete stories, challenges, and open troubleshooting conversation with the community about how they are growing their audiences and selling more. Topic of the day is selling. We're going to start with a very casual interview here with three authors using Tertulia, and then we'll actually demo how it works. Let's start out with just a quick introduction, and we'll start with Tony, then we'll go Lynn, and then we'll go Brian. And if you could just share the type of writing that you do, where you are located, when you started selling direct, and why. Tony, go for it.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm out in Maui, Hawaii, and for the longest time, I was urged by friends and colleagues to write a book. And I wasn't sure what type of book I was going to write, so I said the only thing I could think of was a memoir. And I started my memoir, and I did a lot of research. And my research found that for independent, self-publishing authors, there was a lot of avenues to travel. And my research was I did not want to go with the monopoly of Amazon. So I found Tertulia, and Tertulia helped me greatly to get my book out there. I was amazed, and the website. I'm not a tech expert, but I know enough just to be dangerous. And Tertulia was just a template to help me get the book that I published out. And I like the way that Tertulia is set up. It's easy, it's simple. And I got my first sale, believe it or not, from none other than myself. I put up my website and I said, let me test it out. And I got my first sale from me. But then after that, I started putting it on Facebook and directing everybody to my website. And Tertulia has been a jewel for me.
Fantastic. Congrats. Looking forward to learning more about this. And Ilea will flash up these sites for everybody to see so you have a little bit of context. Gorgeous. Looking great. Beautiful book cover, Tony.
Thank you.
So the three islands are one of the islands of Hawaii. Which one? Maui.
Okay, the first island where I was born was in Harlem on Manhattan. My second island, I was a young child and I moved to Martha's Vineyard. And now I'm retired and living in Maui. And in between those islands, I spent 25 years in the Navy. So
What
I
a
was on
life.
islands.
Life on the water. All right. Okay. We're going to come back to you, Tony. Thank you. Lynn, do you have a good enough connection to share with us?
Yes. Can you
Great.
see me and hear me
We
okay?
can. You look great.
Okay,
Perfect.
great. Thanks. I can see you too. Yeah, I'm loving the website. I'm Lynn Capsuloris, and I live in Sarasota, Florida. And I've not ventured to Amazon. I'm an amateur, I call myself. I write nonfiction. What I do is I write bite-sized, one-sitting reads. I call it Simple Insights, Big Relief, and it's 4,000 words or less. And my books are only available ebooks, so I do like PDFs. And I love the website because it is able to connect me to the reader. I do have an email list. One of the biggest things I learned over the years is have an email list. But like Tony, I was able to get mine out on Facebook. At first, the setup was very simple. I'm not a techie. It did take me a little while, but I figured it out and put it out on this Facebook group that I have. And I've just started putting the books together there. I have maybe 8 of them or so. And again, they're short, simple reads, and it's all about my own insights. They're short stories, relatable, conversational type of books is what they are, about the human experience, the human condition of thought and feelings. And I love the blog. The blog is phenomenal. I use the blog to drive traffic and just really been loving it.
Lynn, for someone who calls themselves an amateur, I don't know, people, what do you think? These look pretty amazing. I mean, I haven't read
Well,
any of your books, but covers look awesome. Great presentation. Thank you for that intro.
thanks. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Brian, your turn.
Well, hello. My name is Brian Martin. I am an historical fiction author. Um, and my debut novel is actually officially being published at the end of the month. It's been available on my Tertulia website for the last 3 weeks. And I've been selling direct from there, which has been quite a boon because when it comes to Amazon or any of the other booksellers online, I'm only going to get a small amount of the sale price because I published through a hybrid publisher, Atmosphere Press. So Amazon's going to keep most of that, but when it comes to the books on my site, I keep the vast majority of the proceeds. So that's been great. Uh, my book's kind of on the other end of the spectrum from Lynn's. It's pretty long. It's a tome. It's 720. It's about 255,000 words. Yeah, I'm a first-time author. Didn't really know what I was doing when I was writing the book, and I had no idea it was going to be that long. But I studied history in college and then went right into the software industry for 35 years. Never used any of that education, but I've always had a passion for history and continued to study it, specifically medieval history. And I kept saying I was going to write a book someday. And after I retired and was kicking around for a few months, my wife said, you kept saying you're going to write a book someday when you had time. So turns out wives are good at calling us on our stuff. And so I can thank her for that, really, because that kind of lit the fire, and I started messing about with it. And about a little over a year later, I had a book, and it's about to be published, like I said. So Tertulia, just echoing what everybody else has been saying, it's incredibly easy. I said I worked in the software industry, but I hate computer technology by and large, and I have a tech curse. I was never a technical person. I worked in the management side of things, but it was incredibly easy. It's been bug free thus far. I'm going to knock on wood there, just because of my personal tech curse. Setting it up for sale has been great. I've been making sales, like Tony and Lynn, putting word out on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot. A lot of friends and family have been ordering copies. And I love the fact that you can have things like special editions, like signed copies. I never imagined that people would want to pay extra for a signed copy, but a lot of people have. So that's cool. I haven't really used the mailing list yet, but I know I need to get that going. But I have been blogging once a month. And it's just been super easy to use, and it's been great to start making those sales.
Love the story. I'm doing the math on that $35 book and the 700 pages, figuring out what you make per page on that bad boy. Very impressive.
Book number two is
There
not
is
going to
such
be
a
as long.
demand. I mean, the royals, like it's just endless. There's infinite demand for this community of interest around the royals and that time of history and medieval history. So that's super cool. Thank you for sharing that, Brian. Now, what I'm seeing patterns here, Tony and Lynn, you guys are selling directly, but not on Amazon also. Is that correct?
Well,
Yes.
I'm not selling directly on Amazon, but Amazon has picked up my book
Got it. Okay.
because my publishing company, let me back that up, excuse me. I've gone through Ingram Spark, okay? And Ingram Spark, as you know, with their distribution, so going through Ingram Spark, Amazon picked it up. So my book is available ebook and paperback.
Expanded distribution. Yes.
Yes,
Okay, gotcha.
yes.
Okay, so for anybody on the call who's new to Spark or they're thinking about their strategy, they're still in the process of publishing, what Tony's saying is he published through Ingram Spark, got his book set up there, did the production, shipped books to himself, correct? To
Right,
sell,
right.
but also opted in to Ingram's expanded distribution program, which allows him to be found at retailers. So, if he were to do a talk at a bookstore, the bookstore could order the books through Ingram, the world's biggest book distributor. So that's
Sort
just
of,
the context for
sort
everybody.
of the hook for me was to let people know that they could get a book sent to them directly from Maui, Hawaii. That was a hook, and it's worked out good. And I also want to give a shout out to the company that helped self-publish, and that's Platypus Publishing. I found them on Facebook. They have a course called the Punchy Book Accelerator course. And going through them, I have now a publisher, self-publishing company that's got me a logo on my book, and quite good. There's a quite good learning experience for me.
Sweet. I love it. In a world of scams out there, you found a good guy. So that's great to hear. And it's like you said, Brian, about being encouraged by your wife. It's also good to just have a publishing partner sometimes who encourages you, guides you, and helps you with best practices. So that's great to hear. Okay, cool. So you are when you're emailing somebody or going on Facebook, where are you telling people to go buy the book? If you're on expanded distribution, you're in retailers and you've got your website. You always saying to go to your website?
Like when I'm posting my web address, and I'm also letting them know that it's available on Amazon because some people don't like, to go to Amazon, but I tell
And
them
they could
Barnes
get
and
the
Noble,
the
the
signed
works.
copy. Yeah,
Yeah,
one of the problems. But
right.
do you know volume wise whether you're selling more directly versus people going to Amazon?
Wow, that's a good question. No, I've gotten more reports from Ingram Spark on sales. So I think that's a better
All right, thank you. And Lynn, you are only selling directly from your site, is that correct?
Correct.
And
Correct.
why did you decide to do that? For simplicity, because you knew that you wanted
Well,
to get all the revenue?
I haven't really even think about the revenue part because my books really aren't that much, but I don't know. I just like the customer being connected, who's buying my book, because then I do other things and audios and things along that line. So I've kind of got a built-in audience. And I'm not opposed to trying something on Amazon maybe one day, but it's very difficult, I think, for people to find and locate your books, even though the keyword search, things along that line. It just doesn't excite me. I mean, I see books being buried and I just love the connection and I love what you guys do. And I would love to even get more involved with the membership you have. Maybe, take a look at that. I don't know if I'd even be a candidate for that, but yeah, so that's where I'm at. I like to know who's buying my books.
Absolutely. I mean, you're a person who is a crack audience developer. Like you're gonna, the
Yes.
fact that you said, "Oh, I don't want to deal with the algorithm," it's like you're gonna develop
Right.
that direct connection. It's great. We have a
Exactly.
question from the chat asking, Lynn, if you don't sell on Amazon, how do you get your books printed, or do you only do ebook?
I only do ebooks right now. And honestly, the majority of my business, I say business, but my readership, a lot of them are in Ireland, Norway, Denmark, China, all over. And it's really widely accepted. They love the ebooks, and I do too. So no, right now I don't have plans for books, for printed books. The ebooks seem to be a great hit.
Ah, that's amazing. And you're a global author who's just doing your own thing. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Amazing we're able to do that this day and age. So let me ask you this. How are you finding this global audience? Like you mentioned
Well,
Facebook.
I'll come clean. I kind of got handed a while ago a group that I'm in, and we've got about 4,000 people. It's not always active, on Facebook. It depends on the algorithm when people see your posts. But I've been able to create some relationships with people on there. And yeah, and they seem to, buy the books. And I sell quietly. I sell by serving, not, okay, buy my book. This is coming out. I take time to write thoughtful posts, the blogs. I drive a lot of my traffic through the blogs, and I do a lot of the call to actions at the end. Hey, if you like this, check this book out, check that book out. And people chat and send me notes, and I have a regular weekly email that I've been doing to try to serve people that way too. And I hear from people that way. So it's just really building connections. I don't have thousands of people. Would I like that one day? Of course, but just have to serve the people. And
Cool. All right. Thank you, Lynn. And then Brian, tell us a little bit. You're in pre-order mode. Now, are you selling both ebooks and print books? Are you necessarily directing people to your site and signed copies, or are you also saying go to any other retailer? What has been your kind of communication strategy and what's working for you?
Well, first of all, I'm selling actual physical copies of the book on the website because I ordered. In fact, I was obligated to order a minimum amount, so I've been selling those. The pre-orders, those are just on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Bookshop. So I've been really working on driving as much business as I can to my website for the reasons I stated earlier. And I have 3 different book signings coming up. We've created, I made these little bookmarks right there, and I'm putting this QR code on social media. I'm putting in, along with the web address, I'm putting on these banners I've had made for the book signings. I have 3 at Barnes and Noble and another one at a local bookshop that's near where I live. So even if people don't pick up the book there at the signing, or if they just come by the table and grab something, they can grab something with this QR code. You click on that QR code and it goes right to my Tertulia site. So I'm driving as much traffic there as I can, because like I said, I'm going to get more for this big physical book, this paperback, that I am for an ebook off of Amazon. As far as selling ebooks on Tertulia, I just learned when Lynn started talking that's possible. I didn't see that feature, so I wrote myself a note to go look into that, because I can certainly put a PDF up there and start selling that as well.
Absolutely. You should absolutely do that. It's 0 cost to you, and it's just incremental sales because some people prefer it. I mean, there's like many people that prefer ebooks. They travel a lot, and yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think I've had some people that are like holding off until it officially publishes on the 30th so they can get an ebook version. So I can be, hey, big news, new feature. You can get this on ebook now.
On your pub day, you can unveil that for sure. Let us know if you need any help. I'll demo it during this call. It's really very easy to upload, and you can do multiple formats for people who are on different kinds of devices.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. So we've got a pre-order. And are you so you've got the physical books. Some of them you might be signing. Quick note, I know that there's been a request from the community to add a field for dedications or special inscriptions. And we definitely want to do that. So right now, if you have to, that is in our roadmap. But as of now, let's say you're signing them, you're shipping them out. Are you holding them until pub date and then shipping them, or you're giving them the privilege to get it before pub day?
Yeah, I'm referring to these as advanced copies. But I am not only have the ability or the permission or right or whatever to do it, I've been encouraged by the publisher to do so. So yeah, I've been, as these get sold, boxing them up and shipping them out to folks.
Fantastic. That's really great. Cool.
And that's another great feature in Tertulia. For those who don't know, if you're shipping physical books, you can add the shipping cost to their purchase cost, and it gets totaled in when they finalize their purchase.
Yes, thank you for that. Now, Tony, there was a question in the chat for you about that, because we have another author on the call from Hawaii, and they're asking I think the question was whether the shipping cost was prohibitive or how you handle that.
Okay, when the books are shipped to me, my requests that go out, I ship them through pirate ship, and pirate ship rate is a little bit cheaper than the media rate. And the average cost per book to the East Coast is about $6.70.
And what was that shipping rate?
$6.74 using
No.
pirate ship.
Okay.
Because I print out my own labels and everything.
Great. Okay, so that's a little bit of an operation you got to get in place, but once you've got a system and a pretty predictable price, it's
Yes.
not so bad. Yeah, okay, cool. Are any of you you talked about a Barnes and Noble sign event or in general, events are often a great way to find a immediate buyer or a buyer later. They get your QR code, as Brian mentioned, or some of your swag. As St. Clair said in the chat, folks buy through Stripe at an event and direct deposits in their bank. As some of you know, we are actually developing a solution for this for your events. Are any
Well, I hope to.
you hope to? Yeah. Okay,
I
great.
have, my
Got you
first one's
covered.
coming up in 3 weeks. So
Great. Okay. So we'll be in touch about that. And then finally, before I turn to some of the audience questions that came in, are any of you selling audiobooks yet?
Oh, yeah.
You are, Lynn. And do you produce those yourself?
Well, I've only done like one or two, but oh yeah, I just turn on Zoom and the audio files, and I've been just kind of playing with that. And so far, honestly, it has not been a big hit for me, mainly the books, but I haven't done that much. But I'm looking at doing a little bit more, kind of doing some bite-sized reflections, maybe like how we binge watch Netflix, kind of like 10 little audios, maybe five
That's
to 6 minutes. Yeah.
really smart because it's a little gateway drug to the
Yeah.
your books. Yeah, that's smart. How do
Yeah.
you think about pricing? How did you decide what the prices were on your ebooks? Did you look at comps? What did you think about that?
I did. I kind of looked around, and honestly, I charge anywhere from $1.99 to $2.99. And doesn't seem like it's an issue. And sometimes last month was my birthday, and I gave them they had 24 hours to get one of my latest ones for free, so to speak. But the platform doesn't do zero, so I use PayHip on that one. I don't know if there's any plans to do that, but anyhow, I just did that. That's just another way of marketing to get people, because once they like that book and they go, oh, I think I'll buy another one, I find that people buy more. If they like it. Doesn't resonate with everybody, of course. We don't want to write for just everybody. We'll be in trouble. But the people who do read it, sometimes they come back for more.
One of the things I'm most excited about with our Sell Direct platform and why we really rushed to get it out there is that we know people like you who are multi-book writers. It's like you've got to own that audience. And Tony, I don't know if you have another book in you, maybe the novel instead of the memoir or memoir part two. And Brian, you maybe need to take a beat after writing 700 plus pages. But owning that audience and then, whatever else is that you decide to do. Maybe you decide to do an audio series, Brian, or a novella, a prequel, sequel, whatever it is, you got to own that audience. I think it's just critical. So I'm really excited to hear that's working for you, Lynn.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's great. We have a question from somebody that came in advance. We always invite advanced questions, and they asked about digital rights management and how Tertulia thinks about security on the files. And I wanted to make sure to address this one. Before I do so, Tony, Brian, Lynn, do you have any concerns or thoughts? Has it occurred to you before that you should have digital rights embedded on your files?
No, never. Congrats to you too. Congrats to everybody. Hey, anybody who can put out a book, I give you a lot of credit. It's you learn a lot about yourself when you write, and sometimes you don't really realize what you can really do. And your words are powerful, and you can help someone, whether it's nonfiction or fiction, get out of their daily life and read a great book.
Digital rights management, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a way to avoid piracy or sharing of files, right? And my understanding is that its time has kind of passed in some ways, depending on the type of books you have in your audience, because it can be cumbersome for the user. And it becomes more of a pain to enforce than a boon for the author. Can count on like less than one hand the times where we've had concerns come in from our audience, mostly because they are cultivating direct readers who want to support them, and they're not sharing those files. They wouldn't even think to do that. And so to put in that digital rights management and actually make the user experience worse for the author is something they just don't want to do. So that's kind of where we came at this as a company line. We just thought like there's not a perfect solution out there for it, and we haven't seen a big enough demand for it. If anybody else has an opinion on that, would love to hear it and any input you have for us.
Hi, this is Phil. So there's a very famous kind of like indie book, kind of, self-publishing book called Steal This Book. So it's, the whole idea of DRM is kind of outdated. I mean, the way I look at it is if you like my book enough and you get it from a download site or you get it from somewhere, you're going to end up buying it anyway. You're going to end up buying the next book. And to me, I don't really care how you got the book. Eventually, if you like the book, you're gonna buy it anyway. So I've had friends. I mean, what's the difference between someone buying a book from me and then loaning it to 10 people? Like it's the same process, right? So the way I look at it is any way that your book can get out there, it's going to get out there. You've already copyrighted it, you've already put it into print, you've already put it into digital format, you're safe. So I wouldn't worry too much. And DRM, like Linda said, tends to be very cumbersome. And any time that I've ever used DRM, the results have never been good. So I just say, look, if you want it so bad that you're going to steal it, then most likely you're going to end up buying it anyway. So I don't really worry too much about it. Just make sure that, you put it in a platform like, either Tertulia or KDP or Draft to Digital or something like that, where it's trackable. And if it does end up getting somewhere, you can do your best to stop it. I actually saw a video this morning. I usually watch kind of like writers talk about their experiences this morning. This woman, she's an independent author. She showed her finances. She's spending over $1,000 a month to keep her book in print because she has all these erroneous services in there. One of them is she's paying for each of her books to be checked by some service to see if somebody's stealing her book. And I'm like, you're paying this group $40 a month to say if they're stealing your book. Dumb move. Like, why are you paying a third party how do you know they're even looking for your book?
That sounds like a good racket.
Yeah,
Great racket.
it's the amount of things that she's paying for. It was almost embarrassing. And I was like, I want to reach out to her. She's a new author and say, listen, stop paying for all those services because she's not even on Tertulia. She's paying $41.38 a month for her Wix site. And she's not selling a single thing off of it. Imagine that. So
It makes me sad,
we're paying
actually.
for our pro site, which is a great deal on Tertulia, and we're able to sell digital books, physical books, ebooks. We got mailing lists. We got a blog. It's super easy to set up. And this poor woman's paying almost $50 a month, and she can't even do anything. So think of the amount of authors that are in her ship right now that are paying all this money and they have zero features other than a website. So I'm going to do my best to try and save her, reach out to her and get her into the Tertulia family. But just goes to show you, there are a lot of indie authors right now who are suffering from, what the industry or other YouTubers or other people are saying on their blogs to all these things. This is why the Tertulia community is so great, because we can meet on a Friday. We can talk about the things we're experiencing. We don't have to, if somebody's going through a nightmare, they can share it with the other people in the room. So it's a valuable service. It's a valuable meeting space. It's a safe space. So again, I don't believe in DRM. I think DRM is past its time, and I think copyrights and you having the physical files just precludes all that. You don't need to worry about that. That's just my opinion on it.
Thank you, Phil. Well said. That's really helpful background. Absolutely. And yes, on the, it's like scam or almost scams, just unbelievable how many there are out there. And it's pretty easy to get touched by one. I would say, what do you think, Ilea? Probably almost daily. Almost daily. We have somebody write in saying, do you guys think this is real?
Yeah,
And because they're not
definitely.
sure. And they're not sure, they're very smart people. So it's really easy to get victimized by that. Um, we have a question. Yeah, everybody gets them daily. SN St. Clair is saying we get them daily. Absolutely. Um, we have a question that's really like the big cosmic question for today's session from Mohammed, which is pros and cons for selling directly online on a
Okay. Well, for me, my sales haven't started on Amazon or it's going to be on three sites: Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Bookshop.org. But the way I see it, I think the advantages there are going to be volume of sales. I think the ability to, once you learn how to manipulate the algorithm so it works for you, not against you, which sounds like a sales pitch, but I've been studying that and working on that lately about finding all the right key phrases for my genre and the type of book and all that kind of stuff, and putting in the right metadata and yada yada yada. So I think once that gets there and people start finding the book, the volume of sales I think will be the advantage there, even though I'm going to make a fraction of the amount per book. The advantage with Tertulia is with each one of these books, I get 100% of however much I charge. And so it's also that personal touch. As people are, not everybody is signing up for the mailing list, but I'm getting a lot of people are. So once I really get that rolling, I'll have that kind of personal outreach. And I think that's going to be really sticky in terms of sales, repeat buyers. When I get the next book written, it's not going to be as long as the first one, that they'll be there to purchase that next book. So I think there's pros on both sides. I'm not sure yet there's any cons. I haven't seen any cons with Tertulia. I hate to sound like just a shill for the product, but so far it's just been great, and I recommend it for everybody.
Fantastic. Tony,
Yes.
anything you want to add to that?
Yes. I did my research before I decided which way I was going to go, and I saw a numerous amount of complaints from people that went straight to Amazon KDP, and their money was slow in getting back to them. And I didn't do my project for money. I just wanted to have a project to say, I wrote a book, I'm an author. That was my overall intent. And as I was doing my research, I came across and I heard from people. I did a lot of YouTube videos and everything. Ingram Spark stood out. Ingram Spark, since this is my first and only book, well, I'm not going to say my only book right now, but Ingram Spark gave me a wider distribution than Amazon does. Once you're on Amazon, they've got you. They've got the monopoly. And for your book to get out to others is very slim, very slim. Bookstores, as everyone knows, does not go to retails and stuff like that. So I liked what I saw on Ingram Spark. The pricing was okay. I'm not going to complain about the pricing going through Ingram Spark. The quality from Ingram Spark was very good. The books that I get mailed to me, I personally really, really like them, the quality and everything. So the cons to me were, if you go to Amazon, you're stuck with Amazon. And the upside for me, the pro side, was going through Ingram Spark. My book still ends up going on Amazon, and the sales that I get mostly are through Tertulia. I've got a few through Amazon, but still, I'm happy. I'm happy. Tertulia is an author's go-to place, if you ask me.
That's
Tony,
really great to hear.
can I ask a quick clarifying question real quick? When you said when you go to Amazon, you mean being published through Amazon?
No, not published through Amazon. Published through Ingram Spark.
Right. I know that's what you did, but when you said you chose them over Amazon, you meant chose publishing through Ingram versus publishing through Amazon. Is that what you meant?
Sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. I just wanted to make sure I understood that, because yeah, I was published through, like I said, a hybrid publisher, and it's printed by Ingram. So, and again, great quality, like you said. Couldn't be happier with it.
Great to hear that. Excellent. These are success stories. We have some complaints in the chat about the quality of the printing also from Amazon, not just the, exclusivity stuff or the, managing that channel, but the actual print. The Wide for the Wind strategy allows you to do both. I think there's even an opportunity when you're selling direct to do things like exclusives. Like, Brian's essentially doing this with pre-order. It's like he can kind of drum up excitement and interest before the actual pub date of the book, or you could even do an exclusive offer. So I think you just get flexibility if you're controlling it yourself. Is it a little more work? Yes. But you know what? It pays off for you. Yeah, I think it's an investment in the future. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Now, this is a fictional author's website, historical fiction like Brian, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to get set up to sell directly. And for those of you who are new on the call, you need to have a Tertulia Pro subscription to use e-commerce. With that Tertulia Pro subscription, you also get access to our widget to ask them for their email. You get access to
Everything.
I mean, those are the big things. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to log in. So you've subscribed to Tertulia Pro. Thank you. And you've subscribed to Tertulia Pro and you are ready to put your books up for sale. What qualifies you to do this? Just as a reminder, if you have the rights to the book and no exclusivity arrangements. So if you're on KDP Select, you need to opt out of that opt-out window. I think it's 90 days or something like that in order to sell your books directly. You want to be careful of that. And the first thing you need to do is you go to the e-commerce section and you go to payouts. You will see a message here to get set up for payouts. What you're doing is connecting to a Stripe account. And that's the industry standard for payments. It just allows you to get direct deposits into your bank account. And it should be very straightforward. Occasionally, we have people who accidentally put in the wrong tax ID or get stuck in some sort of loop, but we help troubleshoot that. So 99 times out of 100, it's super easy to set up in minutes. After you've done that, you go to your books showcase. And as you can see on this familiar page, you have a tab at the top called Sell Direct. When you're selling your book direct, you have three options. You can sell print books, you can sell ebooks, and you can sell audiobooks. When you sell print books, we do not handle print on demand, nor do we handle fulfillment. So you need to fulfill those yourself. You need to hold inventory and you need to ship them out and manage any customer communications around that. And just to underscore again, there was a question before this session about signatures or dedications. We will be integrating that. And yes, we will be integrating merch as well, which I know is really important to a lot of you. So let's start with print. How should this book be fulfilled? I ship it myself. And so you're just agreeing, we're just reminding you that you need to ship it out yourself. And you set up whether it's paperback or hardcover. You set the price. So the only thing you really need to think about with the price is the small amount of the Stripe transaction that you pay. And then you want to kind of look at the comps and think about what you think your audience expects to pay for it. It's a very personal decision and personal goal. In the case of Brian, I think your book is a hardcover, right?
It's a paperback.
Oh, it's a paperback, but it's a big paperback. It's a hefty paperback. It's many books in one. So, he's going to have a higher price than Lynn, who's got, a short book. So you set the price. And label is optional. That might be signed copy. It might be special edition, etc. And when you have run out of inventory that you've shipped to yourself, you can mark it as sold out here in this box here. That is it. Once you save those changes, so we'll go ahead and do it. We're going to make this book $29.99, special edition, and we're going to hit save changes. Go over to the site, and we'll see that you can now buy that special edition.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great. So, and here you'll see the orders. So this is where you keep track of your orders. They're all by me, of course, because these are dummy orders, but just so you can see what that looks like. And you know when you're due to ship out a book, and then you can mark it as fulfilled in the case of a print book. Now, going back to Sell Direct, ebooks are even easier. So set your price, $9.99, and you simply choose the format that you want, upload the book, and you're done, and it shows up on your site. So for those of you who aren't using Pro yet, I just wanted to show just how simple that is. I think it's a no-brainer and something that anybody can try. To be clear, you can upgrade to Pro on monthly. So if you're not sure about this whole operation, you've never sold books directly, you're not sure if you have the time and wherewithal to do it, you could try it, and then you can downgrade. Thank you, Kirk. Mohammed asked, is there information on the website on how to sell online? Does the website help? So it's what I showed you in that demo, there is not a lot of more information. There is a help center that you can consult and you can always reach out to us, but that is relatively easy in terms of the how to sell online. It's literally you set up payouts. That's the first step. And the second step is to upload the files. So we do have some tutorials in YouTube and we do have a help center. That's what I would refer you to. And we are continuing to develop the product. So as we have more features on direct sales, we'll be doing somebody to reach out to you with lessons learned here. Richard asked, some of us have been out there for decades before Tertulia came on the scene, and I've had books on Amazon for decades. Richard, do you want to come off mute and say anything further about that in terms of what the challenges are?
Yeah, I'm just finding that, everything with Tertulia and what people are speaking about is building an audience based on new products they have. And I started out as a textbook writer when I was a college professor 30 years ago. And then I branched off into self-help, and I did a lot of self-help genre stuff with stress and sexuality and other things, and built a pretty substantial base, but always used traditional publishing. And then recently I took a break. I became a city councilor down here on Marco Island, and I just shut everything down because I couldn't do both. So now I'm coming back into it and setting up a new website, setting up, new marketing schemes and all that, and trying to do it completely on my own. So, what I'm hearing is the value of setting things up through Tertulia, and I have my Tertulia website, but setting up a newsletter, I'm finding just to be a daunting task. Like, I created it, I've got great content, but to get that word out that, here's an author with 40 years of experience in these disciplines, and here's a great newsletter that kind of will share all that info with you. Getting that word out and getting subscribers, I'm just finding is really, really keeps me up at night.
Yeah, you're not alone. It sounds like maybe we need to do this is a hard task, which is just building the audience. You're shouting into the void when you create a newsletter from scratch, and that is really hard. I will tell you, Richard, one of the things that we are building here at Tertulia is an email cross promotion tool. So for instance, you could get together with some of the other self-help potentially or wellness authors and swap lists, co-promote books. That is one thing that we really believe in, that we think is going to be exciting and game-changing as our community of thousands of authors grows. But you also have your question's infinite. It's the events. Maybe it's the advertising. It's the developing communities of interest, both offline and online. And I think I'm not even prepared to answer that. And I personally haven't done it. I mean, I think it is really hard. So I guess hats off for you to continue going at it when you have spent so much time investing in just writing the books, and then you're actually having to develop the audience and market.
My things are already out there. That's the other thing is, when you have books on Amazon, when you have books that are being sold directly from other publishers, it doesn't make sense. Is it worth it to then shift gears and take all that stuff off of those streams and put them onto Tertulia, which I don't even know if it can do at this point, to be honest with you. So it's really confusing for me at this point.
Yeah, I think you have to look at each individual book and see what the arrangement is and what rights you have. Yeah, I think that's a big one. But I do think we've probably could do a workshop just around like audience development tactics. And there's so many people that have just come up with really creative, and it's a hustle. But I think obviously we've got people that are growing and finding ways to make a meaningful audience. And it's really not about growing to a big size quickly. It's about that engagement, right? It's like people that actually come back and they tell somebody else about you and invite you to something. And so it's not easy. No, I empathize.
One other quick thing. You're a young woman. I'm a 75-year-old fart. When you talk about time and growing audiences, it's just different conceptualizations of it. So I just wanted to share that with you. I know a lot of folks in the audience are younger and have time. When you get to be this point in life, you start looking at time differently. At least I do.
Yeah, well, that on that profound note, Richard, we are coming to time at the end of our. If you're still, oh yeah, you're still here. Brian and Tony, you guys get the last word. What is the one? Can you share one thing that delighted you with your book release? One person who bought your book you didn't expect. One tactic that worked. Anything that you want to share in your book release?
Well, for me, the most important and the happiest part was to see a lot of my old friends come out of the woodwork, so to speak, and reading my book and telling me how much they enjoyed it. I, I had no idea. And Lynn said it right. You never know until you finish your book to do it, the responses that you're going to get back from people. Tortilla was a big help. And I just have to say to people out there, if you're on the fence, Tortilla is the way to go. That's my honest opinion. Like I said, I'm not a techie. I know enough just to be dangerous. This is my first printing, and I just love Tortilla. It really helped me a lot. It's worth it. It's worth it every minute.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony. That's really, really great to hear.
Uh,
Brian, the last
I can,
word. No pressure.
yeah, I can actually echo everything Tony just said. And one of the cool things that I've learned about generating interest and whatnot is I read somewhere, I wish I could remember where, they said one of the best sales tools you have is always having your book with you. So just this week, I've been to two different, a dentist appointment and a doctor's appointment, and just walked in carrying a book. And when people go, "Oh, hey, look, your name's on that. Did you write it?" "Yeah, I wrote it, blah, 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 blah. Where can I get it? Is it on Amazon?" And I just give them one of these little
Yep.
guys right here. They go to that QR code, takes it right to Tertulia, and hopefully they'll actually generate some sales. But it has generated a lot of interest, and I think probably the biggest excitement I've had so far is the first time I clicked on e-commerce and saw I had orders. I was like, "Oh my gosh, somebody bought my book."
My book, they get a little bookmark with it also.
Yep, same.
I love it. Great. All right. Thank you so much for taking time to share your experiences, Tony and Brian. Thank you all for the smart questions and for contributing with all of your knowledge and your insights and your experiences. Meet us back here next Friday for